Well guys, today I'm so excited cause we finally got for review the legendary American moto ATV Rokon 2x2. By the way, do you know what the manufacturer states? That it's the only real ATV in the world that is able to move in the severest conditions where all the other ATVs are useless. Is it really so? Let's find out. Stay with us, we are to start right now. Hi guys, as usual it's me, just a voiceover, and you are watching Review Machines. When you see this bike for the first time, it may seem not very impressive, but it has numerous fans throughout the world. It has been produced for more than 50 years. First bike was produced in 1958. By the way, Rokon motorcycles are used in the US military forces, and this only fact tells us that it's a great machine. And we are so lucky to get for review this particular military version. Today we are going to put the thing in the severest tests and find out what it can show us in the hardest off-road. I don't want to give away the ending of the video, but I recommend you see it to the end, not to miss the most interesting. But first of all, let's have a look at the technical details of the bike. And first of all, there is a very interesting full-wheel drive system. The rear-wheel drive, as usual, it's clear, but the front wheel is driven by the drive shaft, which is placed into the frame tube. Then there is a reducer, and the driving gear is transferred to the chain drive, and finally to the front wheel. There are two chains, and that is why it's possible to use a front suspension here. At the whole it may seem a complicated system, but in fact it's quite simple and reliable. Braking system is also quite unusual. The front brakes is placed over the wheel, and the rear is under the seat. Due to the solution, the brakes stay dry longer and work more efficiently. Rokon has quite a smooth driving, thanks to the front suspension and big low-pressure wheels. Besides, there is a rear suspension under the seat, so in general it moves rather smooth. We'll see it later. American engine cooler 7 HP power is quite small, but they say it's enough powerful to get any job done. It works together with the variator, and besides there is a 3-range gearbox. Steering is very simple, just throttle and brakes. Also it has an electric starter. You can recognize military version of the bike by weapon mounts and boxes for ammo. By the way, there is also such a trailer. You can place there a lot of cargo, or for example carry there a trophy. On the whole, I think every hunter appreciates greatly this vehicle. Other curious solution, the view discs. They are hollow and made of aluminium. So in fact, this disc is an additional capacity for water or fuel. So we have two tanks, 15 liters each, and as you know, 30 additional liters of fuel might be a vital feature in a distant expedition, especially for such an engine that consumes very little fuel. Well, I think it's enough of theory. Let's see what it can show us on practice. Firstly, let's have a ride with the trailer. In this way you can ride to the camp with a lot of cargo, then unhook it and then move further into a real off-roading. But it's worth saying that even with a trailer, Rokon is quite capable on off-roading. And it's not surprising, cause the whole construction and every tiny detail here is designed to tackle rough terrain. Why is it so effective? First of all is certainly full-wheel drive, it's clear. The second, but not less important. The motorcycle is very light, it weighs only 94 kilos. Big low-pressure wheels and huge ground clearance, 380 mm, also make a lot of good on off-road. All these features provide a very effective off-roading performance, and that is why Rokon is beloved by numerous fans throughout the world. By the way, there are some additional accessories for Rokon, and even farming equipment. And now let's leave the trailer and do some more serious tests. and today we have rather tough conditions. There is a snow, but the ground is not frozen under the snow, it's swampy, so it was very difficult to understand what kind of ground conditions we would face. Now we have the second Rokon, it's a civilian version, and we will compare what the difference between them. As we see, bikes are moving quite well, but one of them gets into a trap under the snow, and it's high time for the most important feature – legs. Yes, you should know, if you are going to buy Rokon, be ready to use your own legs, quite often. The seat is low here especially for that purpose, to control your off-road moving with your legs. So one thing is clear, Rokon is not suitable for lazy persons. So as you can see, we escaped from the first trap and keep on our adventure. By the way, Rokon is very effective when moving on a track, unlike many other motorcycles ATV. It's so effective due to the special footboards. They are foldable and don't brush against the ground. It may seem so simple solution and not worth your attention, but it's really so effective moving on a track. Then we faced quite hard obstacle. It was a real swamp under the snow, and the both motorcycles got immediately stuck there. Now you see how we were trying to walk there, and it was really tough. I think this place would be a serious off-road challenge for any ATV. Though a quite aggressive tires is likely to deal with this obstacle. As to our team, we had to use the main feature again, the legs. Rokon is not 2x2 motorcycle, it's 2x2x2, where the last 2 is your legs. It may seem a drawback, but on the other hand, if you got stuck here on a quad for example, you would have to use a winch, or wait for help from another machine. But with Rokon, you may be sure, you will beat any kind of obstacle with your own strengths only. And now let's go to the forest. And here we realized one of the most important advantages among all the other large ATVs and quads. In the forest all of them would stop, but Rokon is able to keep on moving. Yes, not very fast, but it's moving. You can maneuver between trees and bushes and you will be able to find your way in any conditions. The design is aimed at the moving in the forest. Huge clearance allows to jump over the fallen trees, and the frame protects all the main parts from damage. And again, I want to say that every tiny detail in the whole design is well thought out to provide the best efficiency and reliability. Now let's try to get on the hill. We have quite a steep slope, and now I will try to get there with the first gear. Well, we should have moved faster. Let's try again with the second gear. Then we found another, more interesting hill to test Rokon there. As we can see, motorcycles are moving well. But there is a little trick. We made the pressure on wheels a bit lower, so the efficiency on slopes seriously increased. And now I want to try it myself, to make my personal impression about Rokon. Well, for such a little time of my practice I understood few things. First one, it's very smooth. And then it's very simple to ride even through the forest. Now I really want to get the thing for my personal use. But the price? Well, about it a bit later. Well, and now the crucial point of this video. For example, we need to cross the river. There are no bridges and fords. What do you think we are going to do? Yes, Rokon is really able to float. You can cross almost any river, but you should be ready to get wet. Well, unfortunately, it wasn't a pleasant thing to get wet in winter for our rider, so we had to go back. And it was very interesting for me, if Rokon would be able to start after such a procedure. Well, it's quite impressive, isn't it? So we were ready to keep on our adventure. And finally, a few words about some sad things. The price of this Rokon in the US is about $9,000. As to me, it's quite much, taking into account the money for delivery to my country and the customs clearance. But anyway, these motorcycles are rather popular, so we can make a conclusion that they are worth their money, aren't they? And I don't see any other drawbacks except the price. It's so well-considered piece of machinery, it's a real pleasure to travel with these motorcycles. No surprise that they are used in military forces. But it's very interesting to read your opinions. Please post them in comments. What you think of these bikes. And now it's time to wrap it up. Thanks for watching, guys. Please consider subscribing the channel if you like this video. It will be many more interesting materials here. Goodbye.